Hi, I'm Dr. Asha Priyanka, your public health dentist, and the topic today is measures of dispersion. So, last time we spoke about averages. We spoke about the mean, the median, and the mode. But in real life, when you have a set of data, average alone is incomplete. It won't give you the whole picture because two groups can have the same average, but they can have a very different spread. And that spread is what we call dispersion. So, what is dispersion exactly? It is how much your values are spread out around that average. So, in this also, we have some numbers. We call them absolute measures. In that, the first is range. Now, range is very simple. It's all it means is we take the maximum number and divide it by the minimum. That's it. Range equals to maximum value minus the minimum value. So, for example, if your DMFT score set was 1, 2, 3, 4, and say 7, and the maximum here is 7 and the minimum is 1. So, maximum minus minimum, that is 6. Our range in this data set is 6. Okay. But what does this mean? It means that your data is spread across 6 units. Alright. But range also has a limitation. Since it uses only 2 values, if any one of those values is extreme, like how we saw in the previous data set, then the value that we get can be very misleading. Like for example, if the same data set was in that the 7 was replaced by say 25, then you would get the range would be 25 minus 1, 24. That's a huge range. All right. That makes a big difference. But that's not the reality, right? Not all of them are so extreme. So when we talk about range, just like how the mean gets affected by outliers, the range also gets affected by outliers. The next concept or the next set of data that you should learn is the mean deviation. Now, because of the limitation that our range is providing, we need to improve it. Now, how do we improve it? Instead of 2 values, we consider all the values. Okay? We take each value, listen to me carefully, we take each value, subtract the mean from it, we get one absolute value. And then we average that absolute value. For example, let's say your data is, your DMFT is 2, 4, and 6. Okay? Your mean here is the middle one, that's 4. Right? Your deviation, what we're talking about, means that from 2, 4 is 2 away. And 4 is 0 away. It's on the 0 spot. And 6, the third one, is 2 away. That way. So basically we're saying that for our mean that is 4, the value or the other set data set value, which is 2 away, and 6 is also 2 away. That is the deviation. Okay. Now the mean deviation what we get is this 2 plus 0 plus 2 by 3, which gives us 1.33. Okay, so we got some number, and that too in a decibel, 1.33. What does it mean? It means on an average, values in your data set are 1.33 units away from your mean. Understood? Your mean's in the middle. By getting what the deviation, what we mean is that Your values are 1.33 units away from your mean. Understood? Now, in concept, it sounds good, but we can rarely use it in exams, in statistics also, in usual statistics also. So then comes a new idea, a more important idea called variance. Now here, when we subtract the mean, some values are positive and some values are negative. They cancel out. So what do? We square them. So the formula goes like this. Variance equal to the summation of x minus mean whole squared divided by n. Say that formula again with me. Variance equal to summation of x minus mean whole squared divided by n. For us, what does this mean? Let me give you in simple numbers. Again, let's say the data is 2, 4 and 6. Our mean is 4. So step 1, we understand what the deviation is. So the deviation here is from your 4, the values that are towards the left, that's negative, and towards the right, it's positive. So we have -2, and then the value in the middle, that's our mean, is 0, and we have positive value, that is +2. Now we square both of them, and then we take an average. So variance is equal to this 4 plus 0 plus 4 by 3, and that gives us 2.67. Okay, so again, we got a number, that too in decibels, 2.67. What does that mean? It tells you the spread, but in squared units. Understood? That is a problem again. We can't use squared unit we can't use that in our data set. It's squared units. Again, we'll have to reduce it, right? And we can't use the negative form also. So what do? Then came the concept of standard deviation. This is the most important one, guys. If you pick up nothing from this video also is fine, but pick this up, standard deviation. It's very, very important. This fixes all our problems. We take the square root of the variance that we had found. So first you'll take variance, you'll get variance from your data set, and you do the square root of it. That's our formula, simple. Square root of variance. So how do we say this? Standard deviation equals to the square root of summation of x minus mean whole squared divided by n. Okay, we've just added the formula of variance also over here. That's it. Now we already got the variance, that is 2.67. So our standard deviation equal to the square root of 2.67. That gives us about 1.63. But now, that is our standard deviation. Remember this word, standard deviation. You'll find it everywhere. What does it mean? Clinically, what does this mean? If the standard deviation is small, it means the patients are very similar. Their data is very similar. In this case, we took DMFT, right? So the DMFT is very similar. If the standard deviation is large, it means there's a wide variation. That means there are high risk groups in that data set that you have taken. Understood? Now, these were what we call the absolute measures of dispersion. There is also something called relative measures of dispersion. In this, the first one we have is coefficient of variation. Now, we can compare two groups with different means. Till now, we only worked with one data set, one group of mean, right? Over here, we can work with two different groups of data sets with two different means. For that kind of data, we use coefficient of variation. The formula is very simple. It is the standard deviation divided by mean into 100. So for example, if group A had the mean of 10 and say a standard deviation of 2, your coefficient of variation would be this 2 divided by 10 into 100, which gives us 20%. Now let's say group B has a mean of 5 for their data and a standard deviation of say 2. Again, the coefficient of variation would be 2 divided by 5 into 100, which gives us 40%. Even though the standard deviation is the same over here, did you notice both of them groups have a standard deviation of 2. Group B has more variation relative to its mean. Is that understood? So let's just do a quick summary for our understanding. First up, what is range? We have learned that it tells us the total spread. The range is simple, but it is weak. The next we have learned about mean deviation. This is an average distance, but it's rarely used. And then we learned about variance, which is the squared spread. But that also is the problem. So then we've learned about standard deviation. This is the most important one because it is an actual usable spread. Then of course we learned about the coefficient of variation where we can compare between groups. I'm saying this again. If nothing, takeaway from this video should be standard deviation and coefficient of variation. Remember these two very, very important things. Next time, whenever you see a set of data, don't just look at the average. Always ask yourself, how is this spread out? How is this data spread out? Because that's where the real insight would lie. Okay. Now, I'll give you a few things the way you can test yourself. All right. Let's say your data set is 5, 7, and 9. Find the mean. Second, find the variance. And finally, find the standard deviation of that data set. And tell me, is this data tightly clustered or is it widely spread? Tell me in the comments below what answers you got. And if you didn't understand it, if you're still struggling with it, tell me that as well. We'll go through it together, okay? Because over here, in this topic especially standard deviation, this is the backbone of most of the statistical tests. Going forward, you're going to listen to the word standard deviation in passing by sentence. You should already know how to calculate it. You should know what it means, obviously. It's not that difficult, like I said. So I don't want you to go back at that point and think, oh, what is standard deviation? I want you to have already known that concept. It's all your basics, okay? If you understand this, most of your biostatics becomes simple, very simple. Now let's also take a look at an MCQ and a flashcard that can come from this topic. What is coefficient of variation and its formula? Basically, it removes the effect of different units or scales. It's used to compare variability across the population, the variation, like I said. And the formula is standard deviation divided by mean into 100 or percentage. Which is the most reliable and commonly used measure of dispersion? Again, A, range, B, quartile deviation, C, standard deviation, D, mean deviation. It was the same question as the last time, but have you noticed that the options have changed? This can happen too. You might think that, oh, I'm just going to find one option that says something like deviation and I'm going to choose that. No, here there are 3 deviations in the options. So which are you going to choose? The answer is C, standard deviation. I also want you to go to the app and complete the rest of the flashcards and MCQs because this, while the topic is fresh in your mind, you go and do it, it's going to stick. Otherwise it's just going to fly off your head right now. It's going to be like, oh, I got more confused. But if you go and practice the questions that I told here and that are available in the app, I think you'll understand what's going on. If still you have any doubt, you can reach out to us. But otherwise, I'll see you again soon with another such topic.